Buckle up, because what I'm about to share is straight out of a twisted fantasy. I never thought I'd be the center of my own horror story, but here I am, trying to tell you my story. I've spent what feels like hundreds of hours visiting doctors, counsellors, psychologists, even a spiritual healer to help cure my recurring nightmares I've been having this time last year. However, nothing has helped me. For the first time, I'm coming out public with my story, hoping that someone can give me the answers that I need. Please comment anything which could help me in this year-long nightmare. A year ago to the date, I decided to drive interstate to visit my grandparents. Usually I took the plane to see my grandparents who live quite the distance away from where I live. However, as I was having a break from working, I decided this would be the perfect time to add some adventure, and I decided to drive for the first time in my life. I was nervous, but knew I had my GPS to help me. About halfway through the journey, the GPS app went haywire. I'm talking flickering screen, static sound coming through the car speakers, the whole 9 yards. The lady on the GPS voice was starting to glitch out herself, and the voice was instructing me to turn left in 1 kilometre. However, she kept repeating herself as if it was broken. Turn left, turn left, turn left, turn left. I noticed I was in an area of no reception and I had to pull over to reset the app. But here's where things started getting a little weird. When the GPS flicked back on, it displayed a new route. A new route which was telling me still turn left, however, down by a dirt forestry road. I know there was no way that this was the right direction. However, I thought if I had driven down there, I could get some mobile phone signal and maybe the app would recalculate, realizing I'd taken the wrong turn. If it didn't work, I could just return. The new route was leading me off the main road into a dense forest. Now I know what you're thinking. This is where the horror movie began. Must have been tired from a 5-hour drive. I knew I should have left a lot earlier, but I'm not a morning person, and I decided to wake up, pack my bags and leave. The time was getting on evening and was setting in. As I drove deeper in the forestry, the atmosphere grew eerier. The trees seemed to close in around me. This was no longer what was a clear dirt road. It was a beaten track with staggered and random trees everywhere. The branches crawling at my car. The road was turning into mud, which I wasn't expecting. I don't have a four-wheel drive. Just when I thought I'd made a huge mistake, where I could no longer do a U-turn, I emerged into a clearing, and what I saw left me speechless. There, illuminated by the red glow of the sunset peeking through the trees around, sat a small reflective object buried in dirt and twigs. Compelled by an inexplicable force, I parked my car and approached the glimmering red object. The closer I got, the more I felt a sense of off-boding, as if I were being watched by unseen eyes. Ignoring the voice in my head, screaming for me to get back in my car, turn back in my car. I started brushing away the twigs and dirt to uncover a wooden box covered in strange writing. But what chilled me to the bone was the silence, a deafening absence of sound that seemed to swallow me whole. There was no breeze, no sound of insects, birds or bats. All I could hear was the loose rattle of whatever was inside the wooden box with writing. All of a sudden I got startled by the speakers from my car. The GPS voice was repeating to do a U-turn as soon as you can. Do a U-turn as soon as you can. I was a little shocked, but I realised my GPS map had decided to give me the right direction. I brought the strange wooden box with me and placed it in my passenger seat. As I started driving off in my car and turned the volume down to stop it repeating, however, I was petrified when I looked at my map app. And that's when I saw a young girl and an old hen standing alone in the centre of the screen. Her eyes were hollow voids, devoid of emotion, yet they held a silent plea for help. "Save us," she whispered, her words through my car speakers. "Break the curse and set us free." Confused and terrified, I asked, "What curse? Who are you?" She smiled, a haunting gesture that sent shivers down my spine. "We're trapped. bound to the place by an evil force. You must find the key. The artifact will break the curse and release us from our eternal torment. I immediately floored the accelerator, driving back. The way I had come, the temperature inside my car started to drop. My windscreen was fogging up. The climate control inside my car was doing nothing. I grabbed a spare shirt from my back seat and wiped the windscreen. As I was wiping the windscreen, I noticed next to me what I had picked up. The old wooden box covered in a wax with otherworldly energy. Without hesitation, I grabbed it and threw the box outside the window. I immediately felt the climate control in the car beginning to work. I was coming back to the highway and my GPS told me to turn left back in onto the main road. My grandparents' house was another 5 hours away. I kept driving as far as I could before I needed to refuel. I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd been involved with something far bigger than myself. What had I stumbled upon? A figment of my imagination or something more sinister? So here I am, grappling with reality or unreality of my experience. Has anyone else encountered something like this? Or I am doomed to wander the fringes of reality forever, haunted by the memories of that fateful night.